Hi, this is Josh with comicsverse.com, and I'm here with Jonathan from Binary Space, and we are here today to talk about Ghoul Britannia, Land of Hope and Gorey. So, Jonathan, this is a zombie apocalypse game set in the aftermath of Brexit. So, what motivated you to write, something like this?
Well, when reality hands you a disaster on the scale of Brexit, it's one looks for fictional ways out of it. So, yes, it was the idea of the closing borders and immigration stopping, and so the labour pool shrinking. And that started a train of thought about zombies. Originally, the idea of them was that back in Haiti, they were supposed to be workers. So I thought, well, what will be a modern twist on that? A post-Brexit government raising the dead to do menial work. Let's go with that. So from that, the idea of the game is all that set up. And at first it works brilliantly in sort of little experimental groups. But when they come to roll the whole thing out across the country, it all goes disastrously wrong, and we get our very own UK homegrown post-Brexit zombie apocalypse. And so we're introduced to the two main characters, Casimir Hope Andrews, who's a Londoner, but she starts the game out in the West Country.
Yeah,
That's correct, yes. And she wants to get back to London, obviously, to see how her family's getting on. So she sets off on a road trip across zombie-infested England, and on the way she meets this chap, Dave Gorey, who is a zombie infesting the countryside. And the odd thing is that he's held onto his intelligence, he's held onto his memories and his personality. He just happens to be dead. And he's convinced that the apocalypse was no accident. So the two of them team up to get to London by whatever means are necessary.
So this is sort of like a point-and-click style adventure in like the manner of like the old-style Monkey Islands, correct? So what motivated you to make the Brexit zombie game in a style of like a point-and-click adventure rather than, shooting zombies, for example?
I think shooting zombies has been done a couple of times before, maybe. On top of which, I'm fairly old school myself. I worked on point-and-clicks back in the 90s. I worked on Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars, known as Circle of Blood in the US. And the second Broken Sword, Smoking Mirror, and the third Sleeping Dragon. So the first two were point and clicks, and I loved working on them. But fashions change, and the point and click went, and I thought, well, I'm never going to get to work on one of those again. And then up pops Binary Space, saying, would you be interested? And I went, oh yes, please. So here we are.
So did the idea for the Brexit apocalypse, did that come from you, or was that, did Binary Space pitch the idea, or was it, they said make a point-and-click adventure and you went wild with it?
Well, it was Binary Space's kind of gig is zombie games. This is their second game, and I've got this background in especially narratively driven games. So, and I'm a tiny bit political, so yes, it just kind of presented itself, the idea of what might put a country in chaos, and then having gone into chaos, its attempt to get itself out of trouble actually make things 1,000 times worse. Now, 18 months ago, when we started the project, this was all hyperbole. It wasn't going to happen. We couldn't possibly turn into a great ball of chaos and confusion. So, yes, I'm not entirely chuffed that things are this short of being zombies at this point.
So this is obviously a very narratively driven game. Did you write all of it? Like, are you responsible for like all the humor and whatnot, or do you have like other writers who are assisting you?
No, it's all down to me. We're quite a small team. So I design and I write, and we do a little bit of bounce backwards and forwards on the design. I'll come up with something entirely ludicrous, and the other coders will go, yeah, no, let's not do that. Can you think of something like that? Or a section just doesn't work. That happens as well, so we pull it out. One of the nice things about being a small team and using a platform like Unity is it gives you a great deal of flexibility of being quite agile in how you respond to things. So yes, the sections of the game go through a few iterations, not the the sharp corners off and make it all the more playable. But it is, yes, it's got puzzles in, like an old school thing, but as much as anything, it is supposed to be a narrative experience. Sort of not a full-on interactive novel in the modern sense, but there's certainly an air of that.
And when can we expect the game to come out, and for what platforms?
The plan is later this year. We don't have an exact date, but vaguely later this year. And the platform currently is PC via Steam, is the plan.
Very nice, very nice. And anything else you'd like to say about the game before we close off?
I think you've had the entire spiel. It's a lot of fun to work on with a really good team. Very pleased with the way the art and the sound has turned out. I'm proud to have my name associated with it. And I can't say further than that.